Hello everybody. Good evening. I am live. Let me check everything is working fine. Yes. Good. Hello Melly de Lara. Okay, so yeah, just going to do a quick live. I mean, there is not a lot that have changed since last week, or even less since yesterday. But I'm gonna make a little recap here. Sissy is here, Swooping Hawk, happy Friday to you. Crowbar is here. There's some new names here. Welcome. Do not forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to not miss any stream. In case I forget to post the link somewhere. And leave a like if you appreciate the content, of course. So let's start with a look at the weekly chart here. Monthly. We're still looking at the monthly here because monthly close coming next Wednesday. I would say based on the chart how it looks right now, the last June low is pretty much where bull will want to push price above for the close. Ultimately, the monthly order block here, it seems a bit out of reach right now. We're gonna take step by step. Overall, monthly is looking more like need for some continuation. And we'll take things step by step. Hello, Adrian. Hello, Radu. You okay? Okay, good. Good to you. Good for you. So weekly, well, at least we took the low here from the last 2 weeks. We did a small swing fair pattern. We bounced precisely out of the bottom of that weekly order block. You know, next support still the same. At that point, I'm not necessarily expecting the capitulation to happen right now, as it seems that we are still consolidating. But you know, there's still the whole zone of 13,700 down to 10,800, which is wide, but it's, yeah, that's the main area of support that I will be looking out in case of more capitulation. Above us, on a weekly chart, my main target remain here, 18,600 or about. This is to be considered as an area rather than a precise level, but it's just to retest the supply of that capitulation here that we had early November. And ultimately, we have a weekly level at the same place, more or less, and that was a weekly level. We have many resistance above us, obviously, as we are down. Not really a surprise, but just to keep that in mind, right? Yeah, that's it. We still have some kind of potential bull diff. It's not really a nice one, but it is. Monthly is far from oversold still. And daily, on a daily, well, we have something interesting on the daily because here we have a better bull diff here locally. Reversal diff. We did make two positive close. So in theory, that gives credit for bulls to push higher here, and so maybe reach a higher resistance above here. That's a bit what I'm looking at. More locally now, you know, still have the structures that remain rather blur from an Elliott Wave point of view here. And if we take the last significant swing high here, I'm not really seeing a clean 5 waves down to here. But it's, I mean, it fits the higher time frame buyers that say it is likely that we'll go lower overall. It seems that we didn't finish the move. Now, from all that move down, we can still retest supply and resistance everywhere here. So, just short term, it doesn't say we cannot go up, but yeah, overall, it's not easy to fit a complete count here on that move. It's not impossible. It's not easy. As a reminder, we could be looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4 triangle and a little fifth here. So that could work in theory. Why am I highlighting this? It's because we still have the potential count of a flat here, right? Yep, making this on that low, it would be better. But yeah, we still have this as a potential count. Flat target 0.618, POC 1.1 or up to 1.61.8 if we want to squeeze a bit more short. And you know, I'm still not excluding this at all. It is a correct count, and the situation where we are right now, the market sentiment and everything, could fuel such a move, and particularly a move up to 1.61.80, so the 30k area, or even outpass it a bit, because an expanded flat, you know, so for flats, you look at the 0.618 for something really bearish. I think that there's a lot of resistance. The 1.1 extension for something more conservative, 1.618 for a more trappy one, and in the case of expanded flat, it is really not uncommon to see the 1.618 gate overshoot. I've been seen many times in Bitcoin that we see a very big wave C, because the idea behind it is that, well, it is corrective. It is a corrective move. The wave B breaching the low of wave A mean that it is really bearish. Sentiment is extremely bearish. But as it is a wave B, it is a trap. So it is trapping, well, wave B is here. It is trapping all the bearish sentiment to squeeze them up. That's the idea of a expanded flat. And so the more extreme the sentiment is, the more extreme the result of it can be. So yeah, I'm still keeping that as a decent idea. Now, it is also way too early to have more confidence than that about this idea. For now, we are down, and we have heavy resistance above us. So, as a reminder, yeah, this forward block at 18,000 and some is the main resistance I want to see flipped. I would say the whole 18 up to 19,000. This is what needs to be flipped as support to really open the door for that idea of a big powerful expanded flat to play out and become more sensible at that point. But we need to claim this resistance first. Meanwhile, it means that we can still be looking to position on the long side here. Obviously, I'm keeping every short position that I have from above and from the high and all-time high and everything. Obviously, I have no reason to close any of them, apart from the one that I want to de-risk from the exchange I'm trading off. Yeah. So overall, high time frame bias remain bearish until proven otherwise. Shorter time frame, there's still, or mid time frame, there's still good possibility of further pain for bears, right? Here locally, we have what appear to be an impulsive move, right? It doesn't have the shape of a corrective move from that low that we made on Monday. It has the look and the feel of an impulse. And has Bitcoin low flat, we could be looking at a running flat here for a bearish retest that continue down, even if this is an impulsive move, right? Because if we have the impulse, an impulse, it's either the start of something or the end of something. How it could be the end? Well, in a flat. If it is the start of something, then we'll have a wave 1, wave 2, and continue for 3, 4, 5, or an A and a B and a wave C. And so yeah, the minimum target for flat, again, 0.618. So that's also why I'm not feeling this currently, the high that we have as a good candidate for a definitive swing high that will go to break the current low that we have here. I'm not feeling this is a valid ID here based on the structure I'm seeing. I would want to see at least another move towards 17,000. At that point, if we reject from 17,000 and I can read the clean 5, well, I will be looking for a short, and I will be in the middle of, yeah, we could be in a bearish flat, so potentially we continue down. So that's why I want to look for potential short entry in this area. It could also be just a wave 1, and we retrace for a wave 2, which still give a nice potentially profitable short. And we see and we will see on the retrace if it look more like it will continue down or reverse. Volume isn't that crazy, let's say. Even if it's look impulsive, it's not like really strong, at least here on this exchange, and compared to the volume that we had on the capitulation here. If we zoom in a bit, or we ignore the beginning here, we can see there is volume here. There is trap sellers, or there is potentially trap sellers here already, but here is most likely engineer liquidity, in the sense that there is big seller pushing price down until they found the liquidity. We can see in these two candles and in this one that there is a repositioning. There is absorption, then on the capitulation of the stop losses from that low, and here somebody decide to market buy, somebody or several persons, several entities, to market buy and reverse that local trend. Now, since that candle that reverse locally the trend, change the market structure locally, volume has been quiet. What does it suggest? Well, to me, it just suggests consolidation so far, and I want to see if we continue. Well, at that point was what the volume will be. So really my focus is by taking step by step and focusing on the lower time frame count each time. I mean, I'm keeping in mind the higher time frame, but overall I'm focusing on the lower time frame here. For trade execution at least. So here, lower time frame. Let's hide the volume for a minute. First of all, volume has been lower here, right? But can see that the POC is still moved up here pretty clearly. For one factor, is because we spend much more time here than we did here. But that means also, yeah, that potentially have been taking profit here. I think that's something that we can see on the open interest chart. Well, there's new positions since today, but it's marginal on the inverse paper. It's really small. Yeah, it's 28 million. This move compared to here, it's 5 times the same volume. But yeah, all we can see is there is a big increase in open interest here, where when some big player decided to really go long, right, and change the market structure, then there is take profit. So you can see there's big decrease in open interest, yet price didn't reverse, so that was a sign of strength. Okay. Here we have still new open interest and taking profit. Basically, that's what I'm saying. Now, each time I'm saying such a thing, as price is not completely reversing, I mean, the trend is still relatively healthy. I'll need to see what happened to this new position from today. It's significant here on USDT. What happened again? So clearly, I think if we take the low from today, we are due to a deeper pullback. Clearly, because all this new position gonna get wrecked pretty quickly. We're gonna get underwater. So yeah, I think we really need to hold this. And we have a few counts for that local structure here, the one that I shared yesterday. In fact, there's for the pre-buy part, for the crew, it didn't change much. We're gonna see what we can read here to see if we can have any validation and validation. But as I said, this is pretty key low at the moment. It's him. So what did we have? Okay. Let me hide this a bit. It's overlapping here. So how am I doing this to be clear? Yeah, okay. So the idea that I started with is how do I make sense out of this? Because here we don't have a 5-wave structure. We have something that is 3-wave at best. I say, okay, if it is not 5 from that swing low to that swing high, that means we don't have a final fifth. We don't have a good candidate for high to reverse from here. So main idea that will come out of this is a flat, an ABC that make a new high, but slightly that is being kept into the 123 retracement of the move down here. Take the flat fib. We have the 123. So we have a good candidate for a flat. Now a flat, what we want usually is to be able to read 5 waves down then, right? And ideally at the 1-1 extension, or between the between the 90 and the 1-1. So yeah, we had a very good candidate here for a flat. Now it clearly failed because we took the low. We were all able to read 5 waves down and perfectly inside the target. So what can it be then? It can still be a flat, in fact, but instead of making a flat as an ABC, it will be a WXY. The main difference is that the last wave will be subdivided in a corrective form instead of a 5-wave structure. So in theory, this is still valid as a flat, but I don't have a high confidence about it, just simply for the fact that we don't reach a nice fib target. It's very important for me in such a structure to reach one of the target more precisely here. I'm not saying it's not valid, but it lose a bit of I lose a bit of confidence about it because of that, and because of the fact that it is not 5 waves but 3-wave. And you know, a WXY is a structure, Elliott structure that usually, more often than not, failed. You can often count a WXY or WXYXZ. Many structure, but more often than not, that's a failing count if you have to use a WXY rather than an ABC. So I'm not so sure about this being the corrective count. Now we did find an alternative idea, which was that basically, or before I talk about the other idea, what maybe we could be seeing is still a flat but that go lower, and this is just a start of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diagonal. But again, that not saying it is not correct, but we have overlapping between the proposed 1 and 4, and it doesn't look like an ending diagonal, an expanding diagonal. I mean, it could, but so the idea would be, okay, we're looking for 5 ways to finish our flat here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In that case, maybe we can be looking at a more precise target, 1618. So should we see such a move that come here, that takes the low here? It could be interesting at looking the direction, but that's not my favorite. Alternatively, I end up finding a way to fit a complete structure here. you know, it's what we have to do, Elliott. When you got messy count, you try to find what fits. And here we mostly have two options: either the flat, either a triangle here. And that is correct. Doesn't look like a nice triangle shape, but it is correct from for the Elliott Wave rules, and that allows us to finish this as 5 waves and consider the correction here to here instead of here to here and this. What does that mean? Well, that basically means that we can have a complete impulse here, likely not part of a larger flat structure because we didn't reach the target above, but we can fit a complete structure. And we could be working on a wave 2. Now again, the retrace we made doesn't look enough for a wave 2. It could be enough, but we are in the middle of nowhere of any retrace we look for. Because for after an impulse, we will look for a fib retrace, you know. If it's shallow, you want, if it is a shallow retrace, so 382 or above, you want it to be precise. If it go deeper, well, you know your invitation is low, so that doesn't really matter. But okay, I would say this is correct because we did retrace enough. We do have a potential corrective structure like this that is correct. And that one worked pretty good, right? We have a nice ABC structure here, reaching right into our target. But I feel this doesn't fit the larger idea. What does it fit? It fits a retrace of that move to the 3-2. So in theory, that would mean sorry, just keeping that 3-2. That's a good candidate for wave 4, and this consolidation is as it is very horizontal. It is a consolidation rather than a correction. It is a good candidate for wave 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe. How do you fit your 5 waves in that? It's a bit problematic, but that allows us to maybe reach our upper target before having a deeper retrace or reversal. Obviously, we also have a tightening price action, so maybe that's how this thing's gonna end up be. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, or D, and E, and then we go. Kind of like that idea as I'm seeing it. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I would want this to, yeah, I would want to let this play a bit more, to really position more heavily on that idea. We are coming into the weekend, so we can expect a bit of slow down. It has been slowing down already. A, we have a flat here, A, B, C, A. So A, B, C, B, A, B, C, D. Or like this. At that point, I will guess that, yeah, something like this. That seems correct. And if we take the length of wave 1 projected from potential end of the E here, we see our target for the wave 5 right into the higher degree target we are looking at. Well, that seemed like a decent idea. And it makes the sub count correct as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So I guess I'm gonna went for that as my favorite at the moment. Do we have some kind of consolidation on our side that suggests a triangle as well? Not as much. That's okay. Volume is overall reducing, so that's what we want to see. Oh no. Gonna keep that. So that leaves us with that choice. Well, now should we have completed this? So especially if we take the low here. So if we don't take that high, we take that low, and we form what seems to be a potential expanding diagonal here. We know it could be part of a flat, but you see how the waves start to get really too much stretched out. So alternatively, we could say, okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that makes us a wave A of a larger wave 2 or wave B correction of that move. Okay, and so that makes us that will allow us to in fact just stay in that range, maybe take the side of that range and bounce and come back later, right? Yeah, that would be pretty much my two main ideas here. That's why this is gonna be important. Even if, yeah, we have a possibility for reversing fully after taking this, my feeling will be that if we take that low, I'd rather reduce even more my long exposure that I already took profit mostly in this area, right? Long from down there. But I would rather reduce it more, see if I'm available at that point to look for a longer entry locally, but that will be mostly for an internal scalp to play that range here, that potential sweep of liquidity below this, if the conditions are right. But overall, I will be feeling that, yeah, we might be looking at a longer retrace of that, and after we'll see. That's gonna be my bias for the moment. Yeah, pretty much it. This is still valid, but not feeling like the most likely. Again, that's what I explained just before. That will mean making this a WXY instead of ABC. But clearly, yeah, I would rather scrap that idea. Yeah, this one is not one I like. This one, maybe. And again, it's not a precise retrace, so not my favorite. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, I took it from that high. Okay. Yeah, I'd rather play either the triangle, as long as this hold, either the start of a larger corrective. Hey J, Moap, Chris, hello. Oh, there are some people here. So I guess that's pretty much my game plan so far. What do we have in terms of... maybe we can look for a bit more of level confluence. Should we go lower? What level do we have here? Yeah, daily level and touch. For our... we have this as an odd block here. I really strongly feel that we have another move up. I'm saying this because I'm looking at the RSI, and you know, we never went for the 4 hour of a boat here. Considering the situation where we are right now, it's coming out of extreme fear to squeeze short. It makes sense to go into oversold on a 4 hour RSI. Seeing the 1 hour RSI that reached overbought and did stop a bit of trend here, but already retrace almost to oversold, and yet price is still up here. So it shows as well some resilience here. It seems that people are bidding up. In terms of volume profile, I mean, overall, we have a range. You know, we have a range here, and we have a range here. We have a 4 hour auto block that is up here. Ultimate resistance that I'm looking at. And we have our value are high, value are low. We took the low. Makes sense to go up here. Should we not reverse fully from the 0.618 for that would be showing a lot of weakness, in my opinion. Should we reverse here at 17k and do a new lower low? That would be a pretty strong bearish pattern to me, as I'm saying it. But otherwise, I'm saying we have all we need to allow us to go up here. Should it be for an ABC or an ABC? Could take more time. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll see, and maybe we even squeeze that up a lot more. But yeah, we went from the low of the range, so for a range trader, you take from the low to the high. Simple as that. Hello, Jenny. And so yeah, in terms of volume here, 15 minutes that will be enough, I think. Just on this rise, do we have any single print somewhere? Yeah, we have inefficiency here between 16 and 15,900. So here we have some fair value gap. It's not mandatory to retest it. But it's a good target. It's a line with a golden pocket. So that cool line in the case we are going here for the lower low, and we are doing an A, B, C maybe. That we'll have way more time to see that later. Or maybe, you know, if we do, if we go for a triangle on the 5th here, could be the 1, and after we're going for a longer retrace before maybe continuation or capitulation at that point. Yeah, okay. So I guess that will be all for that. Maybe a quick screen and the rest here. Bitfinex. Yeah, long, still long. Where is my Bitcoin chart here? It's not working. Why is it gone? Okay, the ticker changed. So you know, Bitfinex seems to not capitulating, knowing that the higher time frame it's heavily long. Margin spot long, to be precise, but they've been buying all of that. It seems somebody have been burying Bitcoin all the way down. Doesn't mean they have not been shorting with them, but interesting, it is still holding, and it is a huge amount. It is like, yeah, 90,000, almost 100,000 new longs since here, and a total of, yeah, 111,000 Bitcoin that have been borrowed on Bitfinex. So comparatively to the total holding on the platform, that's pretty huge. I'm really wondering what is happening here. We know that usually in the past it was pretty efficient to give you hint here. You have a big increase in long that lead to a nice impulse that will have probably succeed if it was not for a COVID thing. And yeah, here being increasing long before going into the run. Here there's decent take profit. I know it was visible also on the magic spread that there was selling happening during this rise on Bitfinex. It was not a rise due to the Bitfinex wells. Now we know it was likely Alameda. Now we see here it was pretty efficient. We have a downtrend and a huge increase in long that eventually reverse when price reverse. So absorbing the selling and taking profit on rise. That's what a well that play with low liquidity comparatively to its holding do. It buy when it go down and it sell when it go up. And that's pretty heavy here. So we have a small also increase in short, small significant. It is like, yeah, a bit less than 9,000, 7,500 increase in short. On the magic spread, it remained flat, let's say. It is not bearish. It is more bullish than bearish, but not that much. So I would like, really, to be honest, to see something that is comparable to what we saw in 2019 low here. If I'm starting to see magic spread flip like this at some point and go in heavily premium, I'll be more confident. about low. Code bait is rather neutral as well, and Binance as well. Everybody is rather neutral. I think there's a lot of de-risking, and that's pretty much it. So is the bottom in tasty asking? I don't think so. I don't think it is. At best, it could be a local bottom that could bring us to 30k, but yeah. And I mean, that scenario feels so much sensible here, because there is so much uncertainty and fear and bearishness down here that bringing this up here makes total sense. At that point, people will be lost. I mean, there will be people that understand what happened, but you know that most likely the max pain scenario is to go up here. And after you bring back bullish sentiments, then you can go for the next big move down. That I still believe is like very likely to happen. But you know, I'm like most, I don't know, I need you to see price action develop, and at the end of the day, I would not be sad if this is a low. I don't have a clean, complete structure here to bring this, and I feel the bearishness is legitimate, so I believe we need to go down more to continue to clean the industry, to clean the bad actors, if there remain some. But at the same time, in terms of time, I think I talked about this last week. It will be on which chat did I made that? On the SAT, I think. You know, and 2000 Next shared me a tweet as well earlier, which is here. Bitcoin halving here. So we are at 1, 2, 3, and the predicted date for the next one, which come in March 2024. And if we look at when did Bitcoin bottom, the last 3 times, it bottomed here a bit more than a year before the halving, the first one. Here it bottomed 500 days to about a year before the next halving. Here it bottomed about 500 days before the next halving, and here we are about 500 days, a bit less than 500 days before the next halving. So in terms of time, we are in the area where we should be looking for a bottom, and we are in what is most likely the 5th wave. I doesn't read the 5th finished here, but it is a 5th wave, so the hand of something most likely. Oh well, the 5th wave is the hand of something. So can it be the flat here that we talked about? You see how it's getting stretched. It's not impossible, it's getting stretched. So could the bottom be when we finally finish to print that local 5th? I would say it's not impossible, but at the same time, as we are printing 5 and the flat is getting way too stretched here to be what we should be considered as the most likely, then if it is not part of a flat, it is the end of an impulse, but it is also the beginning of something else. It is the beginning of a new trend that needs to do another wave C to finish. And maybe this time not gonna behave like the others. And we can consider this as a bottom, but we could be considering this as an alternative bottom as well, and it came way closer to halving. Yeah. So maybe we are at the local bottom, and everybody will see an insight, or already so. That yeah, it makes sense. We are at the same, in terms of time, we are at the same place than the previous run, or previous bear market for bottom. And that might be what also fuel more bullishness as we might come out of this in an impulse here for a flat. And at that point, you go for your last move. And maybe you will bottom just prior or around the next halving, you know. Just, yeah. Through process I'm trying to find. Knowing that if this is a flat, and it is indeed at the end of the bear market, the fifth wave is the bottom, or gonna be the bottom. If that's the case, well, it can still be a 1, 2, 3, 4, as long as we do not overlap the top of wave 1. So that makes us an invalidation about 13k. Or it can be that we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and no, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't see, because that would be the count otherwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a flat, but 4 compared to the 2. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, in theory, if we reverse before overlapping the top of 2019 run, it could be the bottom. I think we need at least more move down. If we finished locally here as an ending diagonal of some sort, I'm just showing one here. It can take many forms, of course. But you know, if we see price action doing lower low, but overall going into a contraction, and we do not overlap the top of 2019 run, maybe in that case, if I can, you know, it will take another structure. Maybe it's an ending diagonal here, you know, I don't know, a smaller one. But I would want to see this price action form tell me that it is happening. Right now, this doesn't look like a low, final low. So yeah, it was in November each time as well from chart I saw. Past bottom, I mean, yeah, November, December here, and this was as well January, and this was November. Yes, it is around that time of the year. Yeah, I remember pretty well because yeah, when I went to follow him. What did I? Oh yeah, I had a tweet, yeah, that was showing pretty much the same thing on another way, you know. You see here in red all-time lows. So it's a tweet from Sarah Root. I think he does mostly on-chain analysis, if I recall correctly. But yeah, you see here a time when we had the all-time high, all-time low, and halving. So the line is an average, I guess. But you see the dot here. And in fact, yeah, they have been pretty closely correlated. correlated. Now we also see that the price action does not behave like it has behaved in the past. We didn't saw any blow off top here. Well, that could have been, but we made another high. And yet it was not as blow off. Will have been a blow off that will be to tag 100k here and reverse. And this is not the structure that we used to see either, you know. So does it have to behave exactly the same? I don't know. Yeah, maybe the thing is, it will be to, yeah, that's the uptrend, and as the halving going down, that will take so much people off guard, saying, yeah, we going up, we reclaim 30k, halving is coming, and then at that point you make your ABC and you go. What is our bullish narrative here? Still that our institutional, big institution, traditional finance institution are coming into Bitcoin. Do they want Bitcoin? And what do they need to do to fill up the bag they need? And yeah, surely that what could make us bullish here, because the sentiment is so bearish, the situation is so bearish here, yet we didn't went so much down. And you know, I was talking about that when we were here, or even here, I say, you know, the bottom is gonna be hard to catch, because when the bottom happens, it's like the world is going to end. I mean, from the crypto world, you know. Not talking about the actual world, but that's kind of what's happening here. And if I had 5 waves down here that I was able to count, I would have been more bullish. I'm missing several data to really feel that's the case here, but that's kind of what we expected. And I was like, yeah, what supply does it left for price to continue to go down? That was, I was starting to feel quite bullish here. Ooh, who is going to be left to sell here? Because at some point there is no reason to sell, and if big player want to get in, there is not enough Bitcoin for all of them to get in, so they're gonna front run each other bids, and we will not be able to go to 3k, etc. We will need so much of a black swan to get there. That may be what we had here, the black swan that will force some long-time holders and some other retails and other big players to capitulate, or force them to capitulate as it happened for the over-leveraged hedge funds that have just no other choices. That might be the plan from bigger players that want Bitcoin, but in a market that doesn't have enough supply for them to enter, because they need enough supply to hold enough of the asset to control it better, I believe. Anyway, I'm rambling here, diverging. The idea remains the same. Recap lower time frame what I'm looking at, and you know, this area, should this reclaim, then that's the same thing. You have a range here. The bottom of the range is reclaimed, this become a deviation, and yeah, we go to the high of the range, potentially squeeze up. Until that happens, it's sensible to look for short position on the mid time frame, either here or here. And lower mid time frame locally, still being bullish, is also sensible. Here I would want to see what happened. what would be ideal for me is to see 4-hour reach overbought, and even more, even better, it would be to see a reversal div on 4-hour. Yeah, we got our 200 moving averages on 4-hour as well, up to here where we're looking at. And the weekly 20 is YB. Okay. Well, I guess that will be all for today. Oh yeah, we have this reminder. We have an extra supply that came in on the 16th. So last week and this week on Monday, we have more supply coming in on Bitfinex. Knowing that overall there was 30k of BTC of potential supply that came in end of September, beginning of October, when we were into that range. I say, yeah, okay, that's a warning sign. Nonetheless, I'm gonna stay bullish because we are at the bottom of the range, and that might be to sell at higher prices. It led to a dump still. That say, I did not see that much selling yet. And there is supply that have been moved on Bitfinex that highlights the probability of continuation down. Just not necessarily right now. Oh yeah. I guess that will be all for today. So thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you didn't, hit the notification bell, leave a like, a comment, everything. I appreciate you all. Thanks for showing up, listening to me rumbling, and I see you soon. Take care.